Imagine you're looking at your investing app after finally deciding to buy your first stock. It's trading at $100. You refresh the screen, $101. A few seconds later, $99. Then suddenly, $103. But here's the strange part. The company barely changed, so who decided it was worth $100? Then $101? Then $99? Is someone on Wall Street deciding the price, or is something else happening behind the screen? Because here's the part most beginners don't realize. The price of a stock and the value of a company are not necessarily the same thing. A $10 stock can be expensive, while a $500 stock can be cheap. So how do you know the difference? Today, we're going to follow a stock from the moment buyers and sellers meet. We'll follow that process all the way to the question every investor eventually has to answer. What is this business actually worth? If you want to understand the hidden mechanics behind money and investing, subscribe to Treasure Bucks Finance. Because here, we don't just look at the number on the screen, we look at the story behind it. The stock market is essentially a giant marketplace where people buy and sell pieces of businesses called shares. And every transaction requires two sides, a buyer and a seller. Imagine you offer $99 for a stock, but a seller wants $101. No deal happens yet. Then a buyer offers $100. A seller agrees, and that transaction becomes the market price. No single person declares the company worth $100. The market arrives at that price through transactions between buyers and sellers. Behind many stock trading systems is an order book, a constantly changing list of buy and sell orders. Buyers show what they're willing to pay. These are bids. Sellers show what they're willing to accept, the asks. And transactions happen when those orders meet. When buyers become more aggressive, they offer higher prices. $100, $101, $102, $103. The stock rises. When sellers become more aggressive, they accept lower prices. $100, $99, $98. $97. The stock falls. So when your app shows $100, it doesn't mean every investor believes the company is worth exactly $100. It reflects the latest transaction and current buying and selling conditions. In other words, market price is created by the market. What is the company actually worth? At first, a beginner might look at a $10 stock and think, that's cheap. Then they see another stock trading at $1,000 and think, that's expensive. But that assumption can be completely wrong, because a stock's price tells you what you're paying, not automatically what you're getting. That's why investors look at valuation, and one of the most common places to start is the P/E ratio. Suppose a company earns $5 per share, and the stock trades at $100. If a company earns $5 per share and trades at $100, its P/E ratio is 20. In simple terms, investors are paying $20 for every $1 of annual earnings. So you find a stock with a P/E of 20 and think, that sounds expensive. But then you check its competitors. They're trading around 30. Suddenly, 20 doesn't look so expensive. If similar companies trade around 30, and this company historically traded around 25, a PE of 20 suddenly looks different. This is called relative valuation. Relative valuation means comparing a company's valuation with its own history and similar businesses. But a lower PE can also signal a problem: declining earnings, faster growing competitors, or a less predictable business. So a stock being cheaper than its competitors doesn't automatically make it a bargain. Sometimes it's cheap for a reason, and that's why valuation can't stop with one number. Now imagine you're buying the entire business. You wouldn't only look at last year's earnings. You'd ask how much cash it can generate, how fast it can grow, how long that growth can last, and how certain you are about those assumptions. Those questions lead us to intrinsic value and one of the most powerful valuation methods. DCF estimates the cash a business could generate in the future and converts those future cash flows into today's value. Why? Because $100 today can be invested and grow, making today's money more valuable than the same $100 received years from now. DCF focuses not simply on accounting earnings, but on cash flow. A simplified way to think about free cash flow is, in simple terms, it's the cash the business has left after investing in the assets needed to operate and grow. In other words, imagine a company generating $10 billion in free cash flow today. You forecast how that cash could grow over the next decade, then calculate what those future cash flows are worth today. But suddenly, we run into a problem. The future is uncertain, and that uncertainty is where valuation becomes difficult. Now imagine two investors sitting at the same table, analyzing the exact same company. They have the same financial statements in front of them, and yet one believes the business is worth $80, while the other thinks it's worth $140. Neither necessarily made a mathematical mistake. Their assumptions were simply different. That's why intrinsic value isn't a magical number hidden inside a stock. It's an estimate based on assumptions about the future. And even a small change in the discount rate can significantly change the estimated value of a company. So if your valuation says $100 and the stock trades at $98, you feel like you've found a bargain. Your valuation says $100 and the stock is trading at $98. Then one thought changes everything. What if you're wrong? What if the business is actually worth $85? That's where margin of safety comes in. Benjamin Graham called it the margin of safety. The idea is simple. Your valuation can be wrong, the future can surprise you, and your assumptions can fail. If you estimate a stock is worth $100, and it's trading at $99, there's almost no room for error. Instead, you'd want a meaningful gap between what you believe the business is worth and what you're paying for it. If you believe a house is worth $500,000, paying $499,000 leaves little room for error. Buying it for $350,000 gives you much more protection against the unexpected. Investing works similarly. The margin of safety is there because you might be wrong. But valuation has another layer. Even if a stock looks cheap, how confident are you? Imagine two companies. Company A has predictable earnings, a stable financial history, and decades of consistent operations. Company B is growing rapidly, but its future depends on technology, competition, changing consumer behavior, and assumptions that could easily fail. Would you demand the same level of confidence from both? Probably not. This is why three questions become so important. How much cash will the business generate? When will you receive it? And how certain are you that you'll actually receive it? That final question is easy to overlook, but it may be the most important. Because investing isn't simply about finding the biggest possible upside. It's about knowing what you actually know and what you're only guessing. So, let's go back to the question we started with. Who decides what a stock is worth? Market price comes from buyers and sellers as supply. Demand, news, and expectations constantly change. But business value is a different question. Investors can study earnings and PE ratios, compare peers, analyze cash flow and DCF estimates, consider growth, and demand a margin of safety. But none of these methods gives you perfect certainty, because the future doesn't come with a spreadsheet attached. And that's perhaps the biggest lesson. A stock trading at $10 isn't automatically cheap. A stock trading at $1,000 isn't automatically expensive. The real question is, what are you getting for the price you're paying? The market gives you a price every second. Understanding value takes much more work. And once you understand that difference, you stop seeing stocks as numbers on a screen and start seeing them as pieces of real businesses. And that's when investing starts becoming less about guessing and more about thinking. If this documentary helped you understand how stock prices actually work, hit like and subscribe to Treasure Bucks Finance for more documentaries that uncover the hidden mechanics behind money and investing. So the next time you open your investing app and see a stock trading at $100, don't immediately ask, is it going up? Ask yourself something harder. What am I actually getting for that $100?